All right. Good day, everyone. I'm Peter Da. In our last class, we looked at the definition of matrix, right? And I said matrix is the arrangement of numbers in rows and columns which are enclosed in a curved bracket. So we are going to be looking at types of matrix. And then the first type of matrix we'll be looking at is row matrix. Row matrix. Now, a matrix is said to be a row matrix if it has one single row, although multiple columns. That if it has just one single row. For example, if I have matrix 2, 3, 4, and 5, for example, this is an example of row matrix. If you look at it, it has just one row, but then it has how many columns? This is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, and this is column 4. So it has just one single row and it has 4 columns. So what order of matrix is this? This is a matrix of order 1 by 4. Remember, to determine the order of the matrix, right, we determine the order of the matrix by the number of rows to the number of columns. Row first, then column. So this is a matrix of order 1 by 4, right? So a row matrix is a type of matrix that has just one single row. Similarly, number 2, we have column matrix or column matrix, right? So a column matrix is a type of matrix just like the row matrix. It has just one single column. So it could have multiple rows, but just one single column. So for example, if I have 305, for example, how many rows? This is row 1, this is row 2, and then this is row 3. But then it has just one column. There's just one column. So the order of this matrix is a 3 by 1 matrix. That it has 3 rows, but just one single or column. So a row matrix has one row, multiple columns. A column matrix has one column, multiple rows. Another type of matrix that I'll be looking at, number 3, is zero or null matrix. Zero or null matrix. Now, a matrix is said to be zero matrix or null matrix if all its elements are zero. That is, all the elements in that matrix are zero. For example, I have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Now, this is a matrix of order what? This is row 1, this is row 2. So it has how many columns? This is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, this is column 4. So although all the elements in the matrix are zero, which makes it a zero matrix, it is of what? Order 2 by 4, because it has 2 rows and it has 4 columns. So a zero or null matrix is a type of matrix that has all its elements to be zero. Another type of matrix we'll be looking at, number 4, is a square matrix. Square matrix. You see, just like the name square, if you know what a square is, right? A square has all sides equal, all 4 sides equal, all 4 angles equal, everything equal. So a matrix is also said to be a square matrix if it has equal number of rows to columns. That is, the same number of rows is the same number of columns. So for example, if I have 2, 4, and 6, 3, 8, and 0, minus 2, 0, and 5. For example, This is an example of a square matrix. Look at it. It has how many rows? This is row 1, this is row 2, and this is row 3. It has how many columns? This is column 1, this is column 2, and this is column 3. So when a matrix has equal number of rows to column, then it is a square matrix. So this is a matrix of order 3 by 3. That is 3 rows as well as 3 columns. Now, another type of matrix we'll look at, number 5, is a diagonal matrix. Diagonal matrix. You see, just like the name sounds. So you see, a diagonal, when so something is diagonal, it means it is slant, either from the left to the right, or it is slant from the top bottom this way. So it either is slant this way, or it is slant this way. They will say it is diagonal. Now, so what then is a diagonal matrix? A matrix is said to be diagonal, number 1, if it is a square matrix. That is, a diagonal is first a square matrix, which means it has equal number of rows to equal number of columns. The same number of rows is the same number of columns. So a diagonal matrix is first a square matrix. Then a diagonal matrix has all elements to be zero. All elements in a diagonal matrix are zero except the elements in the principal or least diagonal. Example of that is this, right? We have 2, 0, 0. We have 0, 3, and then 0. Then we have 0, 0, 4. So if you look at this, this is row 1, row 2, and then row 3. This is column 1, column 2, and then column 3. So evidently, this is a square matrix of order 3 by 3, right? However, if you look at it, every other element except the element on this principal diagonal are zero. Only the elements on the principal diagonal are not zero. Every other element are zero, right? Now, another example, if I have, for example, if I have 0, 5, and then I have 2, 0, right? This is also a diagonal matrix, right? How many rows? It has 2 rows. This is row 1, this is row 2, this is column 1, this is column 2. So if you look at it, this is a matrix of order 2 by 2. So first, it is a square matrix. Now, if you look at it, every other element are zero except the element of this diagonal, which is the least or principal or main diagonal. So a diagonal matrix is a type of matrix. First, that is a square matrix. Second, it has all elements to be zero except the elements on the principal diagonal, right? Let me give you one more type of matrix. Number 6 now, unit matrix. Unit matrix. So a matrix is said to be unit matrix first if it is a square matrix, that is, it has equal number of rows to column. Second, it is a diagonal matrix, that is, every other element is zero except the elements on the principal diagonal. And then 3, the elements on the principal diagonal are the unity number, which is 1. That is, all elements of the principal diagonal are 1. So we say that a matrix is said to be a unit matrix if it is first a square matrix, equal number of rows to columns. 2, diagonal matrix, Every element are 0 except elements on the principal diagonal 3. All elements on the principal diagonal are 1. Example, I have 1, 0, 0, 0. I have 0, 1, 0, 0. I have 0, 0, 1, 0. I have 0, 0, 0, 1. Right? So if you look at this, this is a matrix of order. This is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, this is row 4. Now this is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, and this is column 4. So this is a matrix of order 4 by 4. Clearly, it is a square matrix because it has 4 rows, it has 4 columns. So it is a clear square matrix. And if you look at every other element in the matrix are 0 except the elements on the principal diagram. And all the elements on the principal diagonal are 1. Then that makes it a unit matrix. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next class. Stay tuned.